In this issue of Fashion Classics, take a trip back in time to the year 1991. Find out why Italian designer Gianni Versace was the master of prints, and meet Elaine Irwin, who made her mark on fashion for Spring '91. Come inside the print workrooms of the industry's best-kept secret, Beppe Spadaccini. In Paris, the '91 season was print perfect for Christian Lacroix. In London, visit Timney Fowler, the name synonymous with prints and more. Here's the fashion news that was fit to print in 1991. Designers around the world welcomed the Spring-Summer 1991 season with all-out printed style, a kaleidoscope of colorful print.
Prints have exploded in every fashion capital. All kinds of prints.
There's three words were so important to me in this moment: color, short, and print.
It's a very bold print, but it's softened at the edges. It's sort of like a painting, really.
The print has to be or very modern, like a modern painting, or terribly romantic.
The print I did what I call abstraction lyric. In fact, they represent nothing. They are just abstract sketches I did myself, a melange of painting and collage, and then I photographed that and used that for printing.
From florals and abstracts to polka dots and stripes, it was printed in the spring and summer of 1991. Karl Lagerfeld handmade his prints in Paris. In Milan, the late Gianni Versace created some of the sexiest prints around. Christian Lacroix prints it close to the body for added impact. But that '91 season, bold graphic looks also went to the printing press.
A lot of graphic clothes, a lot of black and white amongst the colour, and kind of abstract blocks and prints.
The op art period, the black and white graphic things. You saw from us a whole group of graphic,
based on artists, based on modern art, based on color. Graphic, big and bold.
And bold black and white graphics met modern art in the spring of 1991. In Milan, Byblos painted it with femininity for ladylike dressing. In New York, Oscar de la Renta went dotty for polka dots. And Karl Lagerfeld for Chanel colored it tight to the body. Gianfranco Ferré mixed it up in 1991 for elegant impact. Catherine Hamnett salutes bold stripes, but other prints were abloom that season.
I try to design myself the print with like large flowers, you know.
I keep from some idea of Georgia O'Keeffe, the big, huge flowers.
Huge flower prints, which is then suddenly it came to us, it should be flower power.
The 1991 collection saw flower power blossom with whimsy and romance at Adrian Vittadini. Blooms abounded at Laura Biagiotti. Dresses from Givenchy were feminine with fresh-cut charm. And Geoffrey Beene offered a bouquet of blossoms. Florals went to all lengths at Valentino, but the newest print of the '91 season actually made a comeback 30 years later.
Pucci's prints are the big prints, the enormously big prints of the 60s. Now everybody's doing prints.
Pucci was so unbelievable. It was the first doing psychedelic things, and for us it's a certain glamour.
Well, it was psychedelic colour and print, mad, crazy print, and they're sort of toning it down here so it doesn't frighten the horses, it just gives them a bit of a start.
1991 was the year they paid tribute to Pucci, as psychedelic colors and psychedelic prints of the 60s were back. Catherine Hamnett offered a sexy option. Jenny suited up in groovy graphics. And Zandra Rhodes swings with 60s style. Enrico Cuveri brightened his cat suits with electric brights. Prince made the 1991 fashion headlines. Did you print it?
There is, I think, a turning point in this collection about what women desire, what women want in this moment. There is three words that are so important to me in this moment: color, short, and print. You know, that is the three words who can describe what is the new mood in fashion for the next decade, I think.
No one made a more lasting imprint on Italian design like Gianni Versace. His tragic death in 1997 ended a brilliant career. But in 1991, Versace proved he was the master of printed style.
Print, why I think is a moment to mix patterns like flowers and madras and things like that. We talk the last collection of summer. Print is very important to me. Color, why people I think is a little bored of black and dark color. Short, why women move well. There is a sense of velocity, of rhythm in the life, and we have to be comfortable, I think. I'm born into a fashion family. My mother was a fashion maker, and you know, it's like the oxygen for me, fashion. I love doing fashion. I really enjoy doing the show yesterday. It's really fun for me. I have a lot of joy to do that. We have a lot of fun with the model, and it's always a party for us. You know, there is a lot of stress too, but if you can translate the stress into something positive, it's work and do something you like is always good.
In 1973, Versace worked for the Italian label Jenny, which enabled him to develop his own signature line in 1978. He experimented with design techniques and fabrications. 1982 added a new chapter to his career as a costume designer. But season after season, he continued to refine his style.
I think I change step by step my fashion. I become a little more free, I think. That's what I like about my life today. I'm less into the business and more into the creativity. Why I leave my business to my partner, to my brother, and to the other people who work with me. I'm really feel free. I think it's a moment for a designer to be back on the creativity. I'm bored to see everywhere label without quality. I always claim for quality. I always scream for quality. I love quality.
The quality of Versace's life was reflected in his palace in Milan, where he took refuge and sanctuary from the hectic world of fashion until his untimely death in Miami, Florida.
I have a very private life. I don't like to go party. I hate to go out every night. I like to read and stay by myself. I always reflect myself, the love I have for the heart. I like to collect everything. To the other means I have a beautiful house, I have a beautiful life, but that is the media. What I desire is more.
Gianni Versace from the Fashion Vault of Spring 1991. You may not know his name, and his face may not be familiar, but you do know the Prince of Beppe Spadaccini. Nestled along the beautiful shores of Lake Como, Italy, Beppe Spadaccini is a well-kept industry secret. Come inside fashion to the exclusive studios of Beppe Spadaccini, print master of the fashion runways the world over.
I start to design because in Como is the only job I can find very easy when I was young. And I didn't study any kind of art school, but I just start like this, like myself, because I like very much drawing. And slowly, the studio become bigger, and in the meantime, I start to travel a lot. And this makes me very international designer. inspiration come firstly traveling, especially in tropical countries, so I can understand and see all the tropical tree, all the tropical birds, tropical animals, and I used to photograph a lot of this and bring back to Italy, and from this picture start to design and make a drawing, so this is much easier for me to remember. The look Spadaccini is a kind of happy tropical design. All the animals are always peaceful, happy, birds and cats, everybody are always happy through the jungle. And this makes the feeling Spadaccini because it's really unusual and very relaxing.
Designers around the world have discovered Spadaccini prints and have implored him to create fabrics for them.
This was for Jenny, Escada. I have already also my satisfaction. I like very much art and like drawing, so I don't care if somebody becomes famous with my design, but I like my job.
Spadaccini was satisfied, but consumers wanted more. Now Spadaccini prints and accessories can be found in his boutiques.
Accessories, I like very much these kind of goods because make a dress new. Just a touch of a scarf or nice bag or necktie. All jacket can become different, and all dress become more bright, more fun. I never work to make something like it's art or it's a design or it's a drawing. I want to make something nice and make the people happy to look.
Her famous face has graced the ads of Calvin Klein, as well as magazine covers the world over. Meet CoverGirl Elaine Irwin at the height of her career in 1991. She's since married singer John Mellencamp and become a mom, but at the time, Elaine was famous for her print work.
I think I'm just a normal girl, a normal 20-year-old girl. Normal and, in fact, I have traveled a little more. Maybe I've seen a little, different things, but I go home and I eat popcorn and I go to the movies and I have my friends that are completely out of the business, which is really great. It's a strange career if you're not really familiar with the fashion industry whatsoever. I think to say you're a model, sort of people have this image of you. It's not a great image, I think, to the general public. To the model, I think you're running around and flying, drinking champagne all day long and flying around in limos and, first class MGM Grand. I think it's really important that models do try to have a different image because, people expect you to come in and be illiterate and you say, oh, I talk like this, and come in, and it's just sort of expected. And when you're not, I think people are sort of taken back, and I think you have to really try. You have to try much harder to portray, you're a normal person. Most of the girls I know have gone to school or have taken classes on the side, and I went to school and I always plan to go back. And it's hard because I have a really hectic schedule, but I do, I am quite, up, on what's happening. I do read the newspaper. I do read. I sort of want to be a lawyer at the moment. But that's my weekly decision. Next week I might want to be something completely different, like the president. Well, I guess sort of classic, but not really. I'm blonde and blue-eyed, which sort of constitutes, a very classic image, but I think my face is a little bit more, just the shape is sort of different than probably my eyes, more so than anything else. I love doing the shows, but for a very brief time. For about 3 days, I love it. Then about the 5th day, I hate it, just because you're running around and it's so hectic. I did a video. I did a few videos actually. My very first video I did was for Elle magazine. It was really fun. It was like another friend of mine that I started out with that I knew from the first day I ever came to New York. We did it together, and it was just really fun. Now I sort of prefer print if I have my druthers and my choice of what I'm doing. But on the average, it's nice to break it up and do shows sometimes. So it's such a great opportunity. I would do it again and again. If I given the chance, I would absolutely, without hesitation, do it again.
He's famous for his masterful combinations of prints and colorful style, part French, part Spanish. Christian Lacroix delivers lavish designs that have made him fashion's master of prints. His 1991 collection was exemplary.
I think that since 10 or 20 years we have basic shapes, a good jacket, a good suit, a good skirt, and the only field you can evolve in is prints and patterns. A very good friend, and she is a wonderful painter, and she used to design the back setting of the couture show each season, and I asked her to design some Spanish pattern or some graphic patterns her way, and she did the hearts shapes and the Provençal flowers, but more abstract. And spring is more graphic, and for summer a lot of flowers inspired by the Spanish show too, and a little bit of 60s, because we are all crazy about that. It reminds me a certain period of my youthness, and I love the 60s. It was so creative, and Mr. Pucci was so unbelievable. It was the first doing psychedelic things, and for us it's a certain glamour. Usually I used to mix much more. This time I had fun coordinating things. I never did an entire group of check stripes in red and black, but this time I preferred to have everything coordinated and less busy, and perhaps I'm a little bit tired of seeing around my way of mixing things, so I prefer to evolve another way.
If you have a fetish for fabric and a passion for prints, come to London and discover the design firm of Timney Fowler. In 1991, the firm was under the direction of Graham Fowler and Sue Timney, and was one of the leading print studios of the season.
I think our style is very graphic and very take it or leave it. It's a powerful statement, and I think it's a very contemporary statement within print, but further than that, I find it very hard to define. But I hope it's something one can recognize after seeing it. I think that's the most important thing anyhow, not the words, but the visuals of it.
We were always print designers, but we were specifically at the beginning fashion designers, and we got into interiors after the first 5 years. And we've been lucky enough to jump from one to the other and establish ourselves to a certain extent in both areas.
I've no idea at this second exactly how many prints we design a year, but it's into the thousands. It's really quite a lot. The use of colour within our work has worked in two ways. Within our production lines and retail lines, we've restricted our colour very deliberately and let that grow very slowly, so as to establish a house style, if you like. So we're very excited about being able to use colour so freely. Today, the product line consists of furnishing fabrics, wallpapers, cushions, ceramics, and of course the Go Silk shirts, together with scarves that we do to accessorize that line. And we were lucky enough to begin business relationships with Jerry Hirsch and the rest of Go Silk. So we were delighted, and we're now into our second collection, and it's been very, very good for us.
I think Timney and Fowler will continue to work with Go Silk for quite some time. We're just beginning, to launch this new business.
The collaboration with fashion designers has always been there within our work. I think, in a way, and I hope, the success of fabric designers is to establish trends and to see what's coming and set the pace. Because if you think about it, it's the first step in fashion. The fabric selection and the fabric print is the first process usually within fashion on the road to a finished garment. So I hope we set those sort of trends and sense it.
Do you remember the must-buy of the spring 1991 season that would have added a wild print to your wardrobe? Printed leggings. Gucci launched the style in the 60s, and in the 1991 season, everyone from Adrian Vittadini to Zandra Rhodes showed them. Prince. What we wore in the spring and summer of 1991 remain fashion classics still today.